and gentlemen, welcome back to OTS News. My name is Mean Marky D. Pile-driving geeks since 1973. The biggest mark in the IWC. With over 130,000 views later, with over 4,000 likes between the two nights of what is a very underwhelming WrestleMania 37. And with Bianca Belair winning the SmackDown Women's Championship, labeling herself the EST of WWE. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to let you all know that there's only one EST of the IWC, and that is JD from New York. Every single year, people speculate that there will be NXT call-ups on the Raw after WrestleMania. Many are speculating that this will be a good show tonight, and it will be the proverbial reset button that WWE needs. All I need to tell you guys is, why are you all a bunch of suckers? Monday Night Raw has remained unchanged for years. What makes you think that because there was a semi-decent WrestleMania, that Monday Night Raw is going to produce anything close to being good? All I know is that this show is usually used to bring up NXT superstars and bury them right on the spot, and then we all get to complain about it on social media. Do you really want Adam Cole brought up to the main roster? Do you really want Io Shirai brought up to the main roster? My better question is, who exactly do you have lined up for Bobby Lashley? I'm sure JD from New York will go over all of this tonight on the podcast. In other news, ladies and gentlemen, we now have uncovered what the blonde secretary's name is that we just hired last week for the new studio. Her name is indeed Tony, as many have speculated. She came in today with her hair all nicely done, curly hair. I'm a sucker for curly hair, bro. She wore a tight leather dress and the cleavage today. Oh my God. The cleavage, ladies and gentlemen, was on point. When I tell you she has nice assets, I'm not talking about what she put on her resume. One has to wonder what type of work skills she has when the pressure is on and she really needs to crunch the numbers. Tonight's drink special at the bar, ladies and gentlemen, is Mandy's Slippery Nipple. Now this one is Bailey's Irish Cream and Sambuca. And if you guys want to know what it feels like to slip and slide down the aisle at WrestleMania 37 and make a complete embarrassment of yourself, then this one is for you. And tonight's special coming out of Titus Catering, ladies and gentlemen, we're going Italian tonight. Titus's Linguine Carbonara. This is homemade pasta with crispy pancetta. This is a classic dish topped with fresh cracked pepper and Pecorino Romano cheese. Ladies and gentlemen, the show is about to begin. This is your Monday Night Raw post-show with the EST of the IWC. Your host, JD from New York.
This may have been the worst Raw after Mania in the last 15 years. We are live, man! This Monday Night Raw was absolutely, excruciatingly, just mind-numbingly, unbelievably illogical and straight garbage. I don't even know where to begin with this, man. You guys know I am a sucker for good creative, but I don't think WWE did anything right coming out of WrestleMania. And I mean anything right. Drew McIntyre apparently is the new number one contender again after suffering a clean loss at WrestleMania on Saturday night. AJ Styles and Omos, Sheamus won championships, nowhere to be found on this show. And it looks like T-Bar and Mace may be the newest recruits by MVP in the Hurt Business. Yes, you heard me correct. We're going to go over it all tonight, ladies and gentlemen, with my strained voice and all. This is the number one podcast in the entire IWC and all WrestleMania weekend long. This is your Monday Night Raw After Mania post show right here on Off the Script.
Foliage? Is this what you want, Mr. Dips? Is this what you want? Me standing in front of EC3 buying designer coats? Is this what you want? Me sitting in some hipster hotel in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, fluffing pillows? Is this what you want? I don't believe this. This graffiti art, the hotels, avocado toast. All I want is a fucking Guinness. An ice cold Guinness. What the hell does that mean? Oh, this is what you wanted. This is your Monday Night Raw review right here on Off the Script.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your Monday Night Raw After Mania post show on Off the Script. April 12th, 2021. I am your host, JD from New York. Man, I am so drained from WrestleMania weekend. I don't have the patience to even talk about this shit tonight. All I genuinely want to do is close my eyes and move on from the rest of the weekend, man. This show, you know, WWE used to have such excitement revolving around the Raw after WrestleMania. Do you guys remember after WrestleMania 33 when Roman Reigns beat The Undertaker and he showed up on Monday Night Raw? Stood in the ring for had to be about 10 minutes. And Roman Reigns didn't say a single word. Roman Reigns did not utter a single word. Every time he brought the microphone up to his mouth, he got booed louder than I think anybody has ever been booed on Monday Night Raw. It was fantastic television. That's a Raw after WrestleMania. That is what I think about when I want to see the energy or remember what it used to be like with the energy after WrestleMania. The surprises, the call-ups, the feeling of a new day, no pun intended. The feeling of WWE moving forward and forgetting about whatever happened before WrestleMania even aired. Moving forward with fresh storylines, pushing new talents, just venturing off and trying new things because they absolutely are at a point right now where they need to try new things. Push new people. And they just refuse. They don't. They don't. This Raw after Mania was one of the most depressing Raws after WrestleMania, I think, I've ever been a part of. I don't really understand why WWE, especially for this weekend, didn't allow people inside the Thunderdome for Monday Night Raw. I don't get it. You went right back from having that beautiful, glorious fan reaction in the main event of Sunday's WrestleMania 37 to going right back to the Thunderdome, and I have to hear piped in Drew chants all over the place. And whatever else they were signaling to the WWE Universe via the Thunderdome. It's just a very depressing sight, man. It's almost as if WWE doesn't even give a shit about the Raw after Mania anymore. And in typical fashion, WWE knows that we all look forward to Raw after Mania. I honestly think, guys, that after tonight, I don't think WWE gives a shit anymore completely. They are at a zero. Their tank is running empty. If you thought that they didn't give a shit in previous years, this is them not booking the Raw after Mania because we know how important it is, and it's something that we look forward to most all year. And WWE goes and does what they did tonight. I want to say that WWE does it on purpose because we know, we expect, we anticipate, we're excited. And WWE and management gets off on all of that because they are the ones in power, and they get off when we are disappointed. I don't think we're going to see a Raw after Mania ever again like we used to in the past. It's all over. It is simply all over. Nothing about this show looks, feels, or sounds any different than when we were before WrestleMania. And people were expecting call-ups and this and that, and Io Shirai, and people were saying, I wish Adam Cole was called up to the main roster, and this one and that one. Why would you wish immediate death on these people? Why? It's sad enough about what's going on Monday night. You want to include them? WWE just doesn't care. Drew McIntyre lost clean to Bobby Lashley in the opening match Saturday night at WrestleMania. Clean. By the end of tonight, he was number one contender all over again, placed in a triple threat match, pinning Randy Orton. How did he get there? What did he do to get into that triple threat match? Why are you pinning Randy Orton after Randy Orton was one of the few people in this match that actually got a legitimate win at WrestleMania? Just by that logic, Drew McIntyre doesn't even belong in there. Randy Orton, if you wanted to choose somebody, Randy Orton belongs in there. He won. He won. I'd even go out on a limb and fucking back Braun Strowman in this because he beat Shane McMahon. But what exactly did Drew McIntyre do to get into the triple threat match and now at the end of this Raw be named number one contender? Oh, that's right, Bruce. That's right, Vince. You guys suck at your job. We got nobody else. We'll just do WrestleMania Backlash. And we'll just book all of the rematches that we had coming out of WrestleMania. It's great. It's great. What WWE is pretty much telling you with WrestleMania Backlash is we don't really want to work after WrestleMania. Most of us want to go on a nice little vacation. We'll give you what we give you. You're going to accept it anyway. And then we'll go into Backlash with everything being a rematch from WrestleMania. Great job there, Vince. Great job there, Bruce. You really give a shit about the fucking fans. Bullshit. Bullshit. Vince McMahon's speech on Saturday night was full of shit. T-Bar and Mace, somehow they are in cahoots with MVP that was teased at the end of the show. I'm not going to immediately shit on this. I'm not. I want to see where it goes. I don't know why WWE would expect us to care about fucking T-Bar and Mace. But if this leads to MVP unmasking these fine gentlemen and making them into legit badasses via the Hurt Business and aligning them with Bobby Lashley, and this is the new Hurt Business, I feel sorry for Cedric and Shelton Benjamin, but it just wasn't going to work out for you guys because Vince doesn't give a shit about you. If this leads to them being unmasked and them going back to their original personas, I am all for it. At least it tells us that WWE finds value in Dominik Dijakovic and are actually doing something as far as the storyline to get that ridiculous fucking mask off of his face. So I'm going to wait and see what happens. Matt Riddle. I mentioned Matt Riddle on Saturday and Sunday night of my WrestleMania 37 podcast, being one of the only baby faces on Monday Night Raw to challenge Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship. We got the match, but it was clearly used to bury Matt Riddle and not build Matt Riddle. So WWE fed him to Bobby Lashley tonight for absolutely no reason whatsoever but to bury Matt Riddle. Damian Priest. This is another one from tonight. Damian Priest with Bad Bunny. They beat The Miz and John Morrison in what was probably one of the more entertaining matches of the entire WrestleMania weekend. Come Monday night, Damian Priest is challenging Miz and Morrison in a handicap match. And lo and behold, without Bad Bunny even present on the show, the burial of Damian Priest has begun. Damian Priest was pinned on Monday Night Raw, made to look like a blithering idiot, challenging Miz and Morrison in a 2-on-1 handicap match. You want to include Maurice, it's a 3-on-1 handicap match. I don't give a fuck how big, how cool you are. I would not take those odds without a tag team partner. Damian Priest was pinned tonight by The Miz, who had his suit ripped off of him, and he was in nothing but Hanes boxer shorts, and he pinned Damian Priest while he was dressed in his normal underwear. So it goes to show you that Bad Bunny was the only reason why Damian Priest got a victory on his record on the main roster. And Bad Bunny was the only reason why Damian Priest was being booked to look good on the main roster. Now, the burial of yet another NXT talent can commence. Great. Thanks, Vince. Thanks, Bruce. And then you wonder why your shows are absolutely fucking horrendous. And then we got Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss. The less I say about this, the better. This shit is all over the fucking place to a point where I personally, and many people I know personally, don't give a shit about this. Alexa Bliss seemingly has broken away from the Firefly Funhouse and has gone on and is now doing her own thing. She's no longer affiliated with Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is moving on, and he's going to be, I guess, refocused on building anew. The rebirth, which is what, the 4th time now? And Alexa Bliss is seemingly taking the Fiend and the Darkness character, and she's making it into her own gimmick. I don't really understand why. I don't know if Bray is okay with that. All I know is this Alexa Bliss situation, this is all being written by Vince McMahon and Bruce Prichard. This has nothing to do with Bray Wyatt. Absolutely nothing to do with Bray Wyatt. And we're going to rant about this tonight. I just have a feeling we are, because it certainly looks like Alexa Bliss is adopting the Fiend more so than Bray Wyatt. And I don't know how I feel about that. Normally, I would say it's downright criminal, but at the end of the day, do you really give a fuck about the Fiend anyway? I know I don't. And Alexa Bliss was the star of that act anyway, so I guess it's going to the star of the entire situation, and Bray Wyatt can go and do whatever he needs to do to rebuild himself yet again after WWE took his creation, gave it to somebody else, and buried him. It's got to feel great being Bray Wyatt in WWE. That's what it certainly looks like to me. We will go over all of this, plus my thoughts on Adnan Virk, the new Monday Night Raw play-by-play commentary guy. Don't know what happened to Tom Phillips, but I got some news articles on Tom Phillips, which I think are completely bullshit. But we'll go over that today with a strained voice and all. So make sure you guys are settled in for a long night. I'm going to try my best to get through this. There might not be much yelling tonight because I don't want to strain my voice at all. We will be back live here tomorrow night. NXT live streams will resume on the channel. I'm very excited about NXT tonight, where I get to watch it without any mention of All Elite Wrestling. So that's going to be awesome. And I can't wait to see where they go with Adam Cole. I'm very interested to see who steps up against Karrion Kross. And I'm very interested to see if Johnny Gargano and Dexter Lumis really does take shape after what we've seen at TakeOver Stand and Deliver. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight, man. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. We gained a pretty substantial number of subscribers during WrestleMania weekend, so I thank you guys if you're new around here and you're just checking out the podcast for the first time this weekend. I really appreciate you hanging out with me and sticking with me this WrestleMania weekend. If you do enjoy, I would really appreciate if you hit the thumbs up. Let's try for 1,000 likes on the live stream tonight, man. It really helps out the video tremendously. Like, you guys have no idea. If you can do that for me, that's all I ask. That's all you really have to do. That's really your price of admission inside the OTS venue tonight. So make sure you guys go and do that for me. Hit that thumbs up. Make sure you guys go follow me on Twitter and Instagram. That is at JDfromNY206. I appreciate all the new followers on Twitter as well. We just hit 31,300 on Twitter, so thank you so very much for all of your support and following along during the WrestleMania weekend with me on social media. If you guys want to hit up the Patreon and support via the Patreon page, that's at JDfromNY206 on Patreon, patreon.com/JDfromNY206. I want to shout out my boy Hooligrim, who signed up to be an annual member of the Off the Script family. He's getting a nice-looking baseball bat, beer mug, and a very exclusive Are We Live Off the Script t-shirts. Thank you, Hooligrim. I love you, brother. And thank you for being a part of the family. Make sure you guys go and check out the WrestleMania podcasts. We were live all weekend. Over 130,000 plus in the views department for both. And over 4,100 likes on the WrestleMania live streams. Go and check them out, man. Some of the best work that I do all year happens this weekend. If you missed it, both of them are live on the YouTube channel right now, along with everything else that I did this very busy WrestleMania week. And make sure you guys go and check out the sponsor for today's show, the one and only Blue Chew, BlueChew.com. And you guys are going to use code JD at checkout for your free sample. And believe me, after tonight's show, you are definitely going to need some Blue Chew. Bruce puts you in that mood, believe me. Let's start at the top, man. WWE Raw. They have a new play-by-play commentary guy. Adnan Virk is his name. Apparently, he was with ESPN. Apparently, he was with the MLB Network. And I had no idea who he is because I don't watch either ESPN or the MLB Network. Some of those places and some of those avenues could be very biased towards several different teams and sports teams that you may or may not like. And I don't really care for that. And I stick to my guns and just stay away from all of those sports talk shows. I never heard of him before. I did do some research on him beforehand, and I looked up some of his work on MLB Network. At first glance and first listen, he did have a very professional commentary voice, and I needed to hear more of him actually behind the desk and him getting his hands dirty with Monday Night Raw. I don't know if he's ever had any combat sports background. I don't believe he has. I don't even know if he's a real fan of pro wrestling. He may be a fan of pro wrestling, but I don't know how up on the content that he is. But at first listen, I'm like, this guy's got a nice voice. This guy's got a very good, genuine, classic commentary voice. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to fit well with combat sports. That doesn't mean he's going to fit well with wrestling. Several people can fit in all aspects of commentary. Morrow is one of those guys. He could call UFC, he could call boxing, he could call hockey. Morrow's just the greatest of all time. But this guy, I'm not sure if he is that multi-talented like a Morrow Ronaldo. Not many are. But I listened to this guy tonight, and at first listen, I'm not going to judge him too harshly because coming into this thing, whether you know a lot of it or not, it's probably a pain in the fucking ass anyway because you got Vince McMahon screaming in one headset, you got your script and all this other shit that's going on 1,000 miles a minute on the other hand. God knows how stressed out this guy was. At one point, he called Drew McIntyre the Celtic Warrior. We all know Sheamus to be the Celtic Warrior. They moved Corey Graves from SmackDown to Raw. He's now doing both shows on Monday and Friday night. Goes to show you how much they trust Corey Graves. And I would actually prefer him on both shows because he's just one of the best that they got currently right now, whether you like him or not. He just knows his shit. And then they moved Samoa Joe off of commentary, and Byron Saxton's there, so that's the three-man booth. Byron Saxton, Adnan Virk, and Corey Graves. Samoa Joe moving off commentary gives me hope that he is brought back to either Raw or SmackDown. I don't remember what brand he was with. I do believe it was Monday Night Raw. But if he goes over to SmackDown, I would not have a problem with that. I think a program with him, Reigns, and Heyman is fucking money. And Reigns is going to need opponents. I don't know how ready WWE is to throw Cesaro into the pool with Roman Reigns or Big E. There really isn't nobody on SmackDown that's ready for Roman Reigns. Samoa Joe may be ready. That's something I would love to see. I'd even love to see Samoa Joe on Monday Night Raw, whether it's Drew McIntyre or Bobby Lashley. I don't know if WWE looks at Samoa Joe as being a WWE champion. I would give him the ball and let's see what he does with it. He's done a great job. He's been there all pandemic doing fucking commentary for you when he doesn't have to be there. You took him away from the in-ring aspect, more than likely when he was cleared months ago to continue doing commentary. He didn't blink an eyeball. He did what you asked him to do. Reward the guy. So we'll see what happens with that. But Joe needs to be back on television. Samoa Joe is way too good and way too talented at everything he does in that ring to be away from in-ring action. But this guy, I'm not going to judge him too harshly because this is his first time there. Did he get things wrong? Obviously. What he needs to do is brush up on the storylines. What he needs to do is brush up on the personalities. What he needs to do is learn his wrestling moveset. That's what he needs to do. He's got a good voice. He's not Tom Phillips. I think Tom Phillips is better than this guy at what he does, but that doesn't mean Adnan Virk can't get to the position to sound like a Tom Phillips. You got to give him time. If you liked him, great. If you didn't like him, give him a fucking chance. Can't gauge this guy off 1 week. All we know is that this show desperately needs fucking change. I don't necessarily think that that's where the change needed to be. I think the change needs to come in other aspect, or other aspects of Monday Night Raw, because that wasn't really one of the things that I would go out there and immediately change, the commentary team. There are 1,000 other things on this show that need to be changed. That wasn't one of them. But if this is the start of freshening up this show by any means, then good for them. Give this guy a shot. And I mean legitimately give him a fucking shot. I'm not talking a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You got to give him a couple of months. You got to see what he does. After a couple of months, he's still making fuck-ups on nicknames, not really knowing his wrestling moves and wrestling holds. Then we'll revisit this and say, you know what? I think we need to get this guy out of there. But you got to give him a shot. Change is desperately needed on this show, and he brings a fresh voice to Monday Night Raw. That's why Corey Graves was there, because they knew he wasn't going to get it in night one. And you should be understanding of that as well. Now, Tom Phillips, I don't know what the situation is with Tom Phillips. Tom Phillips might not be back on television. There was a situation with Tom Phillips, and he absolutely was pulled from WrestleMania because of COVID-19 protocols. Now, I don't know why he's not going to be brought back to television. It has nothing to do with COVID-19 protocols. I don't know why anybody's thinking, oh, yeah, they replaced him because of COVID-19 protocols. No, they didn't. He's out for 2 weeks because of COVID-19 protocols. He's off Monday Night Raw permanently because he did something else. I don't know what that something else is, but hopefully we find out what that something else is in the near future. You just don't demote somebody from Monday Night Raw to 205 Live, which he is now the voice of 205 Live. You don't demote somebody from Monday Night Raw to 205 Live for COVID-19. You demote them for them doing something else. What that something else is, I don't know. Maybe he went against WWE's COVID-19 protocol and did something that he shouldn't be doing. Vince found out about it and punished him to the utmost fucking maximum punishment. I don't know. But this guy was chosen to be the voice of Monday Night Raw when they placed Vic Joseph ahead of him the first time. They put Vic Joseph on Monday Night Raw with Dio Madden and Jerry Lawler over Tom Phillips the first time when Paul Heyman was still executive director. Then Vic Joseph didn't work out because Vic Joseph sucks. And then they put Tom Phillips in there because they realized, what are we doing? Phillips knows everything. He knows the characters. He knows the storyline. He's pretty much Michael Cole 2.0. So then they put him on Raw, and now he's not on Raw anymore. Tom Phillips is like the Big Show of commentators. There 1 week, and then gone the next. Babyface 1 week, heel the next. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But you got to give this guy a chance. Phillips will also remain as a senior manager of on-air talent. That role for him has not changed. He will still be around the WWE, but his weekly spot on Raw is getting swapped out for Adnan Virk permanently. I don't know, man. Hopefully we hear something in the weeks to come about Tom Phillips and what happened to him legitimately being pulled from the Monday Night Raw commentary team. Monday Night Raw. The show itself opened up with Bobby Lashley and MVP arriving at the venue. New Thunderdome. They are now in the University of South Florida. The Thunderdome looked the same for the most part, but the aisleway and the ramp looked a little bit more genuine, or at least closer to what a live ramp with fans would look like. Instead of the Thunderdome being the way that we've seen it, or have seen it with the hard camera focused on all the virtual geeks, they had the Thunderdome kind of wrap around the ramp, and we got fans immediately right there to the sides, left and right of the stage, while they come out through the curtain. So that was a nice look. It gives it a little bit more of a sense of normalcy. So I actually liked this setup for the Thunderdome more than we've seen the last two versions of the Thunderdome. Mostly the same, but just a little bit different for what I hope is the last WWE Thunderdome that we see for a very long time. Because I know WWE wants fans. I don't know when fans are going to be back, but if I was to guess, I would say for SummerSlam. That's their next biggest show of the year, their second biggest show of the year coming out of WrestleMania. So we'll see what happens, and I do expect fans back at SummerSlam. Now, Lashley and MVP, they arrived in the venue. A woman approached Lashley for an autograph. This was terribly forced. Riddle was on the scooter and scootered up to him and challenged him immediately to a match on Monday Night Raw. Lashley said, listen, you got your ass kicked by Sheamus, and now you want to face me? You must be out of your mind. Riddle says he wore a tinfoil hat to school for a year because he thought he was receiving alien messages. He said it turned out his braces were receiving the messages. He said he already defeated Drew McIntyre, so it won't be a situation where he would come to Raw and face someone lesser. That's what Bobby Lashley said to Matt Riddle. He said he came here to celebrate his victory and address the WWE Universe. Riddle asked if it was about 3 weeks ago. He said anybody can have an opportunity to become the WWE champion. So he was going back on what Bobby Lashley supposedly said 3 weeks ago. He quoted Lashley from various Raw episodes. Matt Riddle probably knows more about what happened on previous Raw episodes than fucking Bruce Pritchard. Lashley had enough of Matt Riddle, slammed his head into the handlebars of the scooter, and he bent over and said, if you want me to teach you a lesson, I will. And then he said Riddle is a lower card guy or a loser, and whereas he is a winner. And tonight, I will show you the true difference of that. And that was it. So Bobby Lashley and Matt Riddle have a match tonight on Monday Night Raw. No bullshit. That's what happened. And we go right to the Riddle and Lashley match on Raw. Nothing new between these two. Nothing new at all. Because WWE, they don't know any better. And this was legitimately the same match that these two had several weeks ago on Monday Night Raw. The same produced segment. The same legit setup by setup by setup in the ring. Lashley attacks Riddle before the bell. The bell rings. Matt Riddle's already beat up, so he's fighting from behind. And Lashley dominates through most of the match until he obviously wins. That's pretty much what happened here. So the ref called for the bell after Lashley was beating this guy up around ringside. Riddle was selling the injuries. Lashley dropped to ringside and grabbed Riddle's scooter. And the new guy, Adnan Virk, asked, why would you mess with someone's vehicle? That's just cruel and unusual punishment. No, Adnan, we got to get you caught up to speed, bro. The cruel and unusual punishment is actually sitting down and watching this show for 3 hours. Not Lashley destroying Mr. Riddle's scooter. Riddle was obviously upset about this, and Lashley tossed the scooter away and then went back after Riddle. Lashley pressed Riddle over his head, tossed him over the barricade. Lashley continued to beat on Riddle in the ring. They showed what happened during the commercial break during the match. Riddle barely beat the ref's 10 count to avoid a countouts in this match. Lashley face-planted Riddle with a 2 count. And then we seen Riddle duck Lashley, landed a high knee off the duck, went for a quick top rope floating bro, but Lashley avoided it, got the hurt lock on Riddle for the win, and Lashley wins in 12 minutes. You know, I know there'll be some geek out there that tries to make an excuse for this. I don't really understand the logic of booking this match. You could do all that you got to do to protect Matt Riddle. It's not going to work. It's not going to work with me. It's not going to work with everybody in this chat right now because they know what's up. Okay? Bobby Lashley is right now in a situation where, A, he shouldn't be losing the championship. B, Bobby Lashley cannot lose, period. And C, Bobby Lashley needs baby face challengers. Matt Riddle was one of those baby face challengers in a very small pool of baby faces on Monday Night Raw. There's not much to go around. Matt Riddle, Braun Strowman. Nobody gives a fuck about Braun Strowman. You got Keith Lee. Seemingly, he has vanished off the face of the earth. And then you got Kofi Kingston, but he's in the New Day. He's in a tag team. He's not doing much with the World Championship right now. But you don't really have much going around as far as baby faces are concerned on Monday Night Raw. Matt Riddle was one of them. But I didn't expect WWE to book Matt Riddle. The guy's a fucking comedy act. He's a comedy geek. He really is. But WWE booking this match showed you one thing that they're all about. Burying talent. It doesn't matter if Matt Riddle was beat up before the bell rang. The match shouldn't have been booked at all. Why is he challenging Bobby Lashley after coming out and losing to Sheamus? He doesn't want the United States Championship anymore? He's not upset that Sheamus almost knocked his fucking teeth out to win the United States Championship? But you want to challenge Bobby Lashley to a match. I don't get it. And all you did was make Matt Riddle look even weaker in defeat, no matter how much you tried to protect him with the pre-match beatdown. It didn't work. Instead of wasting Riddle in this spot, you should have put Riddle in the main event to be a part of the triple threat match. As far as I'm concerned, Drew McIntyre didn't even belong there because he lost. But so did Riddle. The triple threat match, now that I think about it, shouldn't even been booked. You got 5 weeks till fucking Backlash. You need to make the WWE Championship match now? Wait a couple of weeks. You got 2 weeks to play with. Come up with matches. Give some people victories. Do some bullshit to get some people momentum. Then book a match like that. No, you're going to come out of WrestleMania and book a match where one guy doesn't belong there. This guy is challenging the WWE Champion after coming out of a loss. Meanwhile, he's one of the only true baby faces on this show, and he's fucking getting buried. Shit makes my fucking brain explode, man. Why are you taking guys like this and treating them like they're fucking nothing? It's unreal to me. It is absolutely unreal to me. No sense for this match to be booked whatsoever. Kevin Patrick interviewed Rhea Ripley backstage. You know, folks, when I look at somebody like Rhea Ripley, and I look at how this promo came off, you won't hear this from anybody else. You're not. Everybody's going to be like, oh, Rhea Ripley. Oh, she deserves it. Oh, Rhea Ripley's a megastar. That's all you're going to be hearing. Rhea Ripley was interviewed by Kevin Patrick here. And I don't know what happened from the time she was in NXT to the mere 3 weeks she's been on the main roster. But when you cut a promo on Monday Night Raw or the main roster in general, instead of looking off to the side, if I was to do the podcast looking this way instead of looking into the camera, you guys wouldn't like that too much, right? You'd probably say, JD, I want to see your eyes. I want to see your facial expression. Why are you looking over into the corner there, looking at the styrofoam on your wall, the soundproof padding on your wall? Why are you looking over there? The camera's over here. Who are you addressing over there? Are you talking to the imaginary friend that you talk to every day that's sitting in the corner? Do you got a picture of Braun Strowman in the corner, one of them life-size fucking poster boards of Braun Strowman, and you do wee in front of the mannequin or the poster board? What if I sat here and did the entire podcast like this here? Rhea Ripley, this is Rhea Ripley, the entire promo. Camera's right there. She's holding the Raw Women's Championship, and she's looking over there into the distance. What are you doing, Rhea? Are you reading cue cards? Huh? You can't come up with a fucking thought on your own? Oh, that's right. You are now like everybody else on the main roster. Great. You're just another blonde, but this blonde is a fucking poser. Rhea Ripley sounded as robotic as Charlotte Flair. Listen, you can convince me that Rhea is going to grow on me. Give me a break, geek. Give me a break. Rhea Ripley sounded like she took promo class 101 from Android University with this promo here tonight. I don't know whether she was reading cue cards or not. She sounded fucking terrible. Terrible. You know, there's a way to handle yourself. Why do you gotta stop? And, you know, the way that they stop in between sentences, it sounds so fucking forced. Like you're trying to remember what you're saying, but she's probably reading what they want her to say on the goddamn cue card. You could read a fucking cue card and make it sound genuine. That's the talent. None of them have that. None of them have that. This promo was awful. Kevin Patrick congratulated her on her win and asked how she prepared to defend her title just 24 hours after winning it. JD, who is she defending the title against? Me. May we know? Can you ask? Asuka. As if the match at WrestleMania wasn't bad enough. We got a rematch. So much for WrestleMania Backlash, right? WrestleMania Backlash happening early on Monday Night Raw. She said her self-confidence got her here, and it will carry her on. She said what the WWE Universe witnessed at WrestleMania was the brutal new order. Great, Rhea. Did you come up with that one on your own? Of the WWE's women's division. She said as of tonight, she's going to prove to everyone that she is ready for Asuka. Rhea Ripley's not even ready to cut a fucking promo, and you want to be ready for Asuka? The fuck out of here, man. Trash. Absolute fucking trash. The Viking Raiders. Remember them? They're back. The Viking Raiders, Eric and Ivar versus Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. 5 minutes. The Viking Raiders won. Does it really matter that the Viking Raiders are back? I love the Viking Raiders. I speak highly of the Viking Raiders when I mention them while they were in NXT. The Viking Raiders on the main roster, you couldn't pay me to fucking pick a match out of the main roster that I remember that they had was a good match. Maybe last year inside the gymnasium when they wrestled Cedric and Ricochet before Cedric joined the Hurt Business. Maybe. I can't fucking tell you what my favorite Viking Raiders match is on the main roster because it doesn't exist. And neither does the Raw Tag Team division. People gloating on social media, the commentary team. Oh my God, the tag team division got a big boost. What division? What division? A division that has AJ Styles and Omos as your tag team champions. They're not even a real fucking team. They couldn't even show up tonight for the fucking show. It's such a great division. Cedric and Shelton, right? I guess they're so fucking, they are so upset that they got kicked out of the Hurt Business that they find solace in only themselves, that they remained a tag team. But they're only a tag team because Vince, instead of burying them both individually, Vince gets more pleasure, Bruce gets more pleasure out of burying them together as a combo. That's why they put them against the Viking Raiders here tonight on Raw. What exactly do the Viking Raiders do on Monday Night Raw? They beat Cedric and Shelton. It's great. So what happens now? Are you going to put them against the team of AJ Styles and Omos? Because they're baby faces and AJ and Omos are heels? So now you got the Viking Raiders. You got the New Day. You got AJ and Omos, which is a downgrade for AJ Styles. And then you got Shelton and Cedric Alexander, who at this point might as well just stay in catering for the rest of their fucking contracts. Because if you step through that goddamn fucking curtain, more than likely, you'll be handed a shovel. Viking Raiders look great. I love them. They are actually a part of one of my favorite tag team matches in the last decade against Ricochet and Aleister Black. Who? When did that happen? Yes, it was an amazing tag team match. You wouldn't know because both of them are fucking buried. Raiders win in 5 minutes with Thor's hammer. Not the Viking experience. Taking one from Mauro Ranallo's playbook. They call it the Viking experience. I call it Thor's hammer. Sounds a lot cooler. Viking Raiders win in a tag team division that has them back now. I gotta ask you guys, does the tag team division feel a lot better with them back? Is it different with them back? The answer is no. The answer is no. In fact, the tag team division is worse with them back in it now than they... Actually, no, I'm sorry. The division's better with them in it. But the division is worse than it was when they were actually around before he got hurt, Ivar. Here we go. Here we go. Everybody was fucking busting loads on social media over this promo. Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair. She walked out. She was dressed very glittery. She had this new outfit on, folks. Charlotte Flair obviously made her return. She couldn't stay away forever now, right? Right? A boy could wish. A boy could dream. Charlotte Flair stays away. You knew she was going to be back. Soon as that Raw Women's Championship changed hands, she was fucking drooling at the mouth in front of the TV while she was watching at home last night with Andrade. She's like, you know what, puppy? I'm going to bury her when I get back. That's what she said to Andrade. Charlotte walked out. Her outfit, I don't know if you guys picked up on this. Charlotte's outfit, it looked like she had taken inspiration from a motherboard from a gaming PC. She legitimately looked like she was dressed as a motherboard in a high-end gaming PC. Now, I don't know if that was by coincidence. I don't know if that was her subliminally trying to send me messages. I don't know. But she looked like she was dressed as a fucking CPU chip. Go figure. The android dressed as a fucking CPU fucking motherboard. Can't make this shit up. So, Graves says she feels that she should have been a headliner at WrestleMania. So, Charlotte demanded a photographer to open the ropes. This guy was clearly late. To the fucking party here. He didn't know what the fuck he had to do. She had the ropes open for her. She got in the ring and she cut a promo. She said, so I'm here on the Raw after WrestleMania, and said that she'd typically be here standing, smiling, but she wasn't welcomed at WrestleMania. You weren't welcomed at WrestleMania. Maybe you should talk to Grandfather Vince. Maybe you should talk to Daddy Bruce. What happened? You weren't welcomed at WrestleMania. Are you fucking serious? You weren't welcomed at WrestleMania? COVID didn't welcome you to WrestleMania. Or maybe it was some other reason, right? Maybe you opted to sit out because you were upset that WWE fired your fiancée. Oh, that might be it, right? That must be it. She wasn't welcomed at WrestleMania. For all we know, Charlotte intentionally sat out of WrestleMania because she was putting her foot down in light of what happened to Andrade. So she said she wasn't there, and she said she knows what some are thinking, that she's been on 5 WrestleManias before. She said she's a franchise player and a genuine superstar. I will agree with Charlotte Flair. She's a franchise player. She is a superstar. I know, I'm not stupid. But did WrestleMania really need Charlotte Flair? No. If Charlotte Flair was on WrestleMania, the card wouldn't have been any different. The overall show wouldn't have been any different. Did Charlotte Flair take away from WrestleMania without being there? Or for not being there? No. WrestleMania didn't suffer, and WrestleMania wouldn't have been better with or without Charlotte Flair. This is just the natural way of things. This is the truth. Charlotte Flair may be a legit superstar. Charlotte may be a franchise player, but she is not a difference maker. She's not. For everybody that thinks Charlotte Flair's a difference maker, what are you watching? None of her matches are memorable. She doesn't make anybody she's in the ring with. She's very selfish. She doesn't know how to sell. When Charlotte can do what Roman Reigns is doing right now, when Charlotte can go out there and wear the golden glove like Roman Reigns and make everything and everyone around her better, then she'll be a difference maker. But she's not. She's not. She's only a difference maker for Charlotte Flair. She's not a difference maker for Raw. She's not a difference maker for the women's division. She's not a difference maker for anybody on that roster but Charlotte Flair. No lies detected. None. She said what she does in this ring is sacred to her family. She said she wasn't on WrestleMania over things she couldn't control. Might have been COVID, might have been Andrade, nobody knows. She asked if it was her fault that her dad showed up on Legends Night acting a fool. She said it wasn't her fault that Lacey Evans decided to get pregnant, and she didn't get to kick her ass in the ring. She said she challenged Asuka, but Asuka didn't respond. She said Ripley issued a challenge. Asuka accepted. Ripley beat Asuka. A new star was born. I wouldn't go that far, Charlotte. You don't have anything to worry about. I know you want Rhea to be a star so that your tummy could feel a little bit fuller in the end. But listen, honey, Rhea is not a main course. Rhea is not even an appetizer. So after you beat Rhea, I'm sure you'll still be hungry. Asuka accepted. Ripley beat Asuka. A new star was born. Out with the old, in with the new. She called Ripley the biggest snake in the locker room. That's not what I know. In fact, the biggest snake in the locker room, we may be looking at her right there as she's dressed as a fucking motherboard. She looks like a fucking CPU. She said Asuka manipulated her way into a rematch the night after WrestleMania. It's funny how Charlotte Flair uses the word manipulated. According to me, and everybody else that knows the deal, didn't Charlotte manipulate herself into a Raw Women's Championship match at WrestleMania in New York City with Becky and Ronda Rousey? Because I think there are a lot of people in this chat that actually agree with me that that main event didn't need Charlotte Flair at all. God forbid we had a fucking first ever women's main event at WrestleMania that didn't include Charlotte Flair. You probably cried to Vince McMahon to put you in that main event. Cried. I don't need a report. I don't need a dirt sheet. I don't need Meltzer or Sapp or Alvarez or Mike Johnson to know what happened. Charlotte Flair manipulated her way into a main event that didn't need her. How do I know? She beat Asuka for the SmackDown Women's Championship 2 weeks before that fucking main event. And then WWE decides to make it a unification match. Great. Or title for title match. The match could have easily been Ronda versus Becky, and everybody would have been happy. In fact, Charlotte made the match worse. Charlotte made the match and the main event worse. So please don't use manipulated when you're talking about a promo about Charlotte Flair. She said, karma is a bitch, and I am that bitch. She listed a dozen women by name. She listed everybody in the WWE from Sasha to Bianca, all the way down to those in catering. And then she says, no one compares to me. She said she has realized for the first time since signing her WWE contract 7 years ago that she doesn't steal opportunities. Oh, man. She doesn't steal opportunities. Oh, that's right. You don't steal opportunities, but every fucking opportunity that's presented to Vince McMahon, you gladly fucking take it though, right? 14 title reigns later, every opportunity they give you, do you ever give back? Of course you don't. You don't steal opportunities. There's more than one way to steal. You don't necessarily have to go and just take it. You have a voice. You have a voice in the matter. If Vince or Bruce or anybody comes to you about an opportunity and you think it's best for somebody else, then you give it. Have you ever done that? I don't think so. Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't you refuse to get eliminated by an NXT talent in the Royal Rumble? Because we all know Shayna Baszler should have won the Royal Rumble. You single-handedly fucked up plans for Shayna Baszler. And then you win the Royal Rumble, you challenge Rhea Ripley. You could have easily said to Vince McMahon, hey, Vince, hey, Bruce, this is Rhea Ripley. She is the NXT Women's Champion. Her beating me at WrestleMania will go and further her career in the way that we need. Did that happen? Please, chat, correct me if I'm wrong. Did that happen? Or did Charlotte win the NXT Championship, bury Rhea Ripley? She's still feeling the effects of that today. She goes down to NXT, buries several in that division, doesn't make the division better. In fact, the NXT Women's Championship never looked weaker. And then she has a match with Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai. And what does she do, chat? What does she do? Oh, that's right. She doesn't take the pinfall victory. Or the pinfall loss, rather. She doesn't take the pinfall loss. Does she put Rhea over? Does she put Io over? Of course not. Io had to pin Rhea because Charlotte didn't want to lose to Io Shirai. So please tell me, Charlotte, you don't steal opportunities from people? Certainly looks like you stole many opportunities last year, if you count all those that I just mentioned. Stop sucking the Charlotte Flair dick, okay? You're not going to get one over on me here. So, she goes on to say that she doesn't steal opportunities. I am the opportunity. You're the opportunity? Of course you are. The only opportunity that you want is an opportunity for Charlotte Flair. So, she said she won't apologize for being that damn good because they will all bow to her, 13-time women's champion. Wow, man. You know, it's amazing to me how manipulated, and I'm using that word in the right way. It's amazing how people listen to her say, I'm a 13-time women's champion. That's Charlotte manipulating and WWE manipulating the audience to think that Charlotte Flair is the greatest of all time. And she's not. In my eyes, one reign that is a long, successful, beating people consistently over a year and a half, like Roman Reigns, that type of reign is more valuable than Charlotte Flair touting that she's a 13-time women's champion. In my eyes, you lost the championship 12 other fucking times. I can't even recall a fucking reign that you had that was memorable. Charlotte Flair hasn't had any memorable title reigns. Not one. Not one. Some of those reigns actually last a mere seconds. Couple of days. They just did it to bump up her stats. So, she said, no more humble Charlotte. Was Charlotte ever humble? The fuck am I listening to here? Because she's that good. She asked everyone to show some respect for her and what she does and what she's brought to the industry. She said she's dedicated years and tears and blood and sweat to this business. She asked what any of them have given her in return. She told Asuka and Ripley to enjoy the title match later because she is going to get hers. She drops the mic in a very cringe-like manner. And that was it. That was it. Folks, if WWE, because this is what they did before she went away, when Rhea was not even a factor, when Lacey and Charlotte and Ric Flair was the storyline, WWE tried to develop sympathy for Charlotte Flair. That's when she was a babyface. They were trying to make her into this babyface, and it was just coming off terrible. Developing, poor, woe is me, Charlotte. I gotta feel sorry for Charlotte. Nobody's gonna fucking feel bad for Charlotte Flair. Give me a break. Now WWE is trying to do the same thing by bringing you a little dose of truth into Charlotte's promos. We're supposed to feel sorry for Charlotte Flair because everybody's picking on her and ragging on her and making these false statements and false claims about it. It's just trying to find sympathy for Charlotte Flair in the same way. This time as a heel. Nobody's going to feel sympathy for Charlotte Flair. WWE, I'm telling you this right now because you're not going to hear from somebody else. WWE strategically used the word manipulate. WWE strategically had Charlotte go out there and say that she doesn't steal opportunities. I am the opportunity. WWE put these words and this verbiage in Charlotte's promo because that is exactly what she does. All she's doing is projecting it in a way where everybody else looks like a crazy fucking son of a bitch for saying that. But in reality, she's saying it because that's exactly what happens behind the curtain. This promo was fucking nauseating. And so was her attire. Get her off my fucking TV. I said it last night. Ripley winning that championship from Asuka did nothing. Absolutely nothing. In fact, you made Asuka look fucking ridiculous for losing last night because you didn't do anything with her for the last 9 months. Now Rhea Ripley wins the championship and all she's doing is waiting to lose. That's it. Rhea Ripley is the fucking orca, and Charlotte Flair is that fucking 30-foot great white looking to jump onto that boat and fucking take Quint right into its fucking jaws. Fuck out of here with this shit. Rhea Ripley versus Asuka. Rhea Ripley versus Asuka. The WrestleMania match was better. No reason for this to be happening. Very sloppy. This was not what I expected at all from this match, from these two. It was sloppy. Didn't need to happen. And I don't know why we're getting backlash matches 5 weeks early on Monday Night Raw. I don't get it. You know these two are going to meet at Backlash again. You know Charlotte Flair is going to be involved in this triple threat match, which I'll get to in a second. So why are you giving us rematches already? Rhea Ripley just won the championship and you're already booking her in a fucking rematch? Yeah, exactly like I said on my WrestleMania Night 2 review. What good does it fucking make if you got nothing ready for Rhea Ripley after she wins the fucking title? How good does it look that you're giving us rematches already in her first night as champion? I hate being right. I hate being right, man. So we go to commercial break. 2 minutes into the match. Ripley cut off Asuka with a clothesline. Asuka came back with some kicks. Flying drop kick, German suplex, running hip attack, roundhouse kick. Big knee. Went for a cover, only got a 2 count. There was this weird spot, botch, obviously, where Asuka flat out missed a flying drop kick. And then Ripley applied a standing cloverleaf. But after Asuka got a rope break, Ripley drove her down to the mat for a 2 count. Then they messed up a couple of spots immediately after that. It looks like Rhea Ripley wanted to go for an electric chair or get Asuka in an electric chair position, but then they just kind of fell over. You could have saw that they were frustrated with the spot. They tried to go back to it a couple of times. They eventually hit it, but it was very sloppy. The miscommunication tonight was off. I don't know who is the guilty party here, but I'm going to blame both of them. And I'm going to blame Bruce, and I'm going to blame Vince for booking this fucking match that didn't need to be booked tonight. So they tried another spot where Ripley basically hit a Samoan drop, but that didn't really seem to be the planned spot because Asuka is the one who covered Ripley. Then Ripley finally did the electric chair on Asuka for a 2 count. After Asuka gave Ripley a DDT on the apron, which looked bad, and I mean bad as in sloppy, Charlotte came out of nowhere in her CPU dress, dressed like a fucking computer chip, comes out without wearing high heels, and then attacks, causing a DQ. She laid both of them out. She threw Asuka into the barricade. She big booted Rhea Ripley, and that was it. And that was it. Charlotte laid both of them out, and she mocked both of them as she stood tall in the ending of this match. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here and book this better for WWE. Don't you think that it would have made Charlotte Flair's arrival back on Monday Night Raw a little bit more impactful if we got Asuka and Rhea Ripley to have this match? Charlotte comes out to cause the DQ, surprising everybody. And then after the match, she gets in the ring, cuts the promo that she cut before the match, while they're both out there laying out there in front of them, don't you think it would have been a little bit more impactful if that was the way you went about it? Instead, all we got was Charlotte, blah, blah, blah. Nobody likes me. Everybody hates me. They have valid reasons to hate me, but you're all fucking marks. Don't you think it would have been a lot better if she was in the ring after the match was over, cutting that promo while they were out there, instead of coming out and crying to everybody at home how wrong they are? Charlotte Flair fucking sucks. She mentioned that she's better than Sasha. She meant she's better than everything. She's not. She's not. I'm sorry. Who WrestleMania main evented one-on-one on Saturday night? Wasn't Charlotte Flair, right? How jealous are you? How much is that eating you up that Sasha is here and you're below her? Go take a walk. In fact, go back to the fucking factory and update yourself to the new 1.27564 update that clearly you fucking missed while you were out. Nia Jaxson, Shayna Baszler were watching Mandy Rose slip and fall at WrestleMania. Way to make somebody feel better, WWE. We gotta replay it. They replayed it over and over. Mandy walked up to them and asked if they were done. Clearly they're not. She said on Twitter that she always finds a new way to trend on social media. So she is there with Nia Jax, and she began laughing at herself. Hey, listen, I could laugh at myself in the end. Then she slapped Nia Jax in the face. Dana Brooke came out of nowhere, helped Mandy Rose shove Nia Jax into some production crates. Baszler had walked away before that happened. Jax got up and looked very upset. Awesome. Nobody gives a fuck. Mandy Rose's career highlight is slipping at WrestleMania. Alexa Bliss. We go to Alexa's playground. Alexa Bliss is swinging in the playground backstage. She said WrestleMania was so fun. She said once upon a time she was a little girl who was lost, but then was rescued by the darkness. She said the darkness nurtured her and protected her. But then the darkness went away. She said she wondered at that point if she was never going to need the darkness ever again. They showed her throwing a fireball and lightning bolts at Randy Orton. How do you think it made her feel that she could do it all on her own? Was the darkness helping her, or was it just standing in her way? Then they showed WrestleMania with her oozing goo sitting atop the big box-like structure that Byron Saxton didn't really understand what that was. It was a jack-in-the-box, Saxton, you fucking clown. Maybe we should put there, or you in there, being that you don't know what the fuck it is. So they showed all of this liquid flowing from her face at WrestleMania. She asked if it's true what they say about the female species being the deadliest. We may never know. Then she giggled, and she said along the way she unlocked something truly evil. She introduced her new friend, Lily. Now, it was a creepy-looking doll. Trust me, our fun is just getting started. That's pretty much it. She left. They showed a close-up of the doll, and that was pretty much the end of the segment. Let me tell you something, folks. Alexa Bliss, I've credited Alexa Bliss more times than I care to credit Alexa Bliss, okay? She's not a good professional wrestler at the end of the day. This is where she has shined. This is where she has excelled, okay? The body language, the facial expressions, she downright looks creepy when she does what she does. She plays the part well. She looks psychotic. And I see why Vince and I see why Bruce like her in this role, okay? She was always meant to play a secondary role to Bray Wyatt and The Fiend. Now, all of a sudden, Alexa Bliss seems to be the star of the show and has been, especially when she's been with Bray Wyatt. She's been the star of the act for months now, carrying storylines on her own while Bray Wyatt is out selling 3 months of fucking burns that just magically disappeared. Now she's the star of the act on her own, and WWE is cutting her away from the Firefly Funhouse. Why are we doing this? Reportedly, WWE had plans for Bray Wyatt to beat Randy Orton at WrestleMania. They called an audible before the match even started. Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon called an audible for Randy Orton to beat Bray Wyatt after he was burned at TLC, was held off TV for 3 months. They came up with some lame fucking excuse as to why he's not burned anymore. And then after all that sitting home, selling injuries, the one thing that beats him is a fucking RKO. The storyline with Randy Orton didn't make any sense. They got a fucking Inferno match happening at TLC. All the while he sits home to come back and wrestle Randy Orton in a fucking standard pro wrestling match with wrestling holds. Everything was done backwards. None of it made sense to Bray Wyatt. None of it made sense to everything going on. None of it made sense to us. Bray Wyatt was just fucking sinking and sinking and sinking every single fucking time. You got geeks on social media. Oh, we'll give it a chance. Oh, we'll give it a chance. See where it goes. It's just long-term storytelling. Long-term storytelling? When are you fucking idiots gonna realize that I'm right and you're wrong? You want long-term storytelling from Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon? Do you know who the fuck you're dealing with? Where's your long-term storytelling now? Randy Orton came out on Monday Night Raw and said that he was done with The Fiend. Where are we going now? Nobody knows. They didn't give us any fucking answers. But Alexa Bliss, in this situation, seems to be inheriting the Fiend character. Why is that? I thought the Fiend character was the brainchild of Wyndham Rotunda and Wyndham Rotunda alone. Did he have plans to include Alexa Bliss and have her take over the gimmick? I doubt it. The guy's got a fucking shitty career for himself. He's going to give this monster idea to Alexa Bliss, and then he's got to start from ground zero all over again? None of it makes sense. None of it makes sense. Seems like Alexa Bliss is inheriting the Fiend character. The darkness, the toys, the dolls. I wouldn't be surprised if she gets her own fucking mask. What is this going to do? You're going to put Alexa Bliss back in the ring with this character, and you're going to book her to be the Queen of Darkness in the women's division? This is the brainchild of Bruce and Vince. Vince and Bruce have taken Bray Wyatt's Fiend character and killed it and loved it so much, they couldn't wait to bury him and give it to her. That's what it looks like. Then Bray Wyatt has a fucking funhouse tonight, and he's over there preaching that rebirth is on the way. He's acting like a fucking preacher in church. Listen, God, listen, man, all the praying to God Almighty is not going to save you from creative headed by Bruce Pritchard. You can sit there in church all you want and pray to whomever you want. It ain't going to work. It ain't going to work. This shit sucks. Every little bit of it sucks. I don't know who's saying wait, give it time. Motherfucker, I've been giving this shit 5 months now. Give it time. Give what time? I'm ready to fucking move on. All you're doing is lingering and lingering and lingering, and you're making things make less sense as we go forward. Lily. Who was Lily to Alexa Bliss in her childhood? Somebody that bullied her? Can't wait to find the backstory on this bullshit and see where they go. None of it fucking makes sense, and none of it really matters in the end. It doesn't. Miz TV. Miz TV, guest was Maurice, the Miz's wife. So she's on there, and they're shilling Miz and Mrs. They're doing whatever campy comedy that they usually do. showed highlights of Bad Bunny in WrestleMania. Damian Priest comes out. He walked out and asked Miz if he's really taking credit for Bad Bunny's great performance at WrestleMania. Priest says his partner, or he said he was his partner, and he's not even taking credit. He said Bunny put in the work. He told Miz that the headlines around the world were Bad Bunny beats The Miz. Miz asked Priest where his name was in the headlines. He says he's upset that Bunny upstaged his WrestleMania moment. He says if he wants his star power to rub off on him, he challenged them to a one-on-one match. And they're arguing back and forth. Miz and Morrison are arguing back and forth. Maurice interrupts and says, listen, what are you guys fighting about? You both can fight him. You both can fight him at the same time. So Damian Priest says, all right, I'm ready to make my own headline. Damian Priest beats both Miz and Morrison. Now, they were saying that they weren't ready for a match. Miz was dressed in a Gucci suit. John Morrison was dressed in a black leather coat. He had slacks on. So we got a handicap match, impromptu, with Miz and Morrison with Maurice. So 3-on-1, realistically, against Damian Priest. Now, I got a couple questions here. Number one, why is Damian Priest accepting a 3-on-1 handicap match against Miz Morrison and Maurice on the outside? Is he stupid? Damian Priest doesn't look like a stupid guy, bro. He doesn't. Number two, why couldn't this match wait? Why couldn't this match wait? Was it really necessary to have The Miz and John Morrison wrestle in street clothes or business casual clothes? You couldn't give these guys a half an hour to go to the back and change into their in-ring gear to give it a genuine feel. No, just send them out there and have them wear suits. It doesn't fucking matter. That goes to show you the little attention to detail, how WWE handles business and what they deem important and not important. Number three, the match itself was a fucking joke. An absolute fucking joke. Miz went for a skull-crushing finale on Damian Priest. Priest blocked it, set up his finisher, hit the lights, but Maurice held on to Miz's feet. Priest yanked on Miz's pants, ripped his pants off, exposing him in his boxers. Legit boxer shorts, folks. And the Miz then rolled up Priest in his boxers without a shirt on as his feet were on the ropes for added leverage. Miz hugged Maurice. They were all celebrating on the ramp, and that was it. So let me get this straight, Vince. Let me get this straight, Bruce. Damian Priest was booked to be a badass for 4 weeks leading up to WrestleMania and his match with Bad Bunny. He goes into WrestleMania against Bad Bunny. They produce probably one of the best matches all weekend for WrestleMania. They win. Bad Bunny goes back to writing music and performing live in front of concerts. Damian Priest goes back to Monday Night Raw. And with all the star power that Damian Priest has hopefully accumulated by working with Bad Bunny and all the new eyes on Damian Priest and the comfortable nature that Damian Priest has now settled into Monday Night Raw, you got a glimpse at what he could do. You got a glimpse at how he speaks and how he carries himself. And the guy can legit be a main event guy if you want him to. The best thing that you think for him to do coming out of WrestleMania with Bad Bunny is to go into a 3-on-1 handicap match, and it was really a 2-on-1, but 3-on-1 with Miz and Morrison and Maurice. 3-on-1 handicap match. The best creative that you got for Damian Priest is to have him rolled up by The Miz in boxer shorts. Oh, but JD, his feet were on the ropes for leverage. Oh, JD, it was a handicap match. Why does Damian Priest need to lose? Is nothing valuable in this company anymore? Do you just not want to create new stars? It's not even a point of WWE not building new stars because they can't. It's WWE not building new stars because they don't want to. This was one of those situations. They don't want to. How difficult is it for you to put Damian Priest in a match and have him fucking win after coming out of WrestleMania? The burial of Damian Priest has begun. You could have easily booked him versus Morrison, him versus Miz, and you can continue whatever the fuck is going on here. But why are you even booking him with them when the storyline is over? You couldn't move this guy on to somebody else? Sheamus couldn't be on the show? Damian Priest versus Sheamus sounds like a decent fucking match to me. Damian Priest is another guy. If you build him up, he can look legit against Bobby Lashley. What WWE showed you here tonight is the fact that if Bad Bunny wasn't included at WrestleMania, Damian Priest, A, wouldn't be there. And if anybody else was Damian Priest's partner, he would have never won. Damian Priest was only successful at WrestleMania because of Bad Bunny. Now WWE has Damian Priest all to themselves without Bad Bunny. It's going to be bad for Damian Priest. Ridiculous. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. Moving on, guys. I'm going to talk about Nia Jaxson, Shayna Baszler, Mandy Rose, and catering. Got to take a little bit of a breather. We got 2,700 people in this chat, man. Holy shit. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you guys very much for hanging out with me, man. Let me take a breather here. Let me take a sip of my Liquid Death. Shout out to my boys over at Liquid Death. The best sparkling water on the planet, bar none. Love it. Love it, guys. Hit that thumbs up, man. We got 780 likes right now. Strive for 1,000. I know we can get it. We got 2,700 people in the chat. There's no reason, no excuses to get 1,000. Every little bit helps, man. I know you've enjoyed what you've heard and have seen here so far. So why not support by simply doing something for free? And that is giving the thumbs up. I want to give a very special shout out to my boys over at BlueChew.com. They are sponsoring the show tonight. And man, oh man, after tonight's terrible creative, man, you're going to need it. This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. It's been one hell of a year, guys. Personally, I feel like I've aged 12 years over the last 12 months with everything that's going on. And if you're like me, you're feeling your age more than you really need to, especially in the bedroom, especially with Monday Night Raw being so terrible. It's time to snap out of it. Spring is on the way, and it's time to get sprung with Blue Chew. Blue Chew is a unique online service that provides the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable form. And as we see it, a fraction of the cost, man. Blue Chew's tablets help men achieve harder and stronger erections in the bedroom. And it combats all form of ED. Blue Chew is an online prescription, and no visits to the doctor's office are needed, man. No awkward conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. It ships right to your front door in a very discreet package. The process is simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com. You consult with one of their licensed online medical physicians, and once you're approved, you receive your prescription within days, and the best part, it's all done online. Licensed medical providers work with Blue Chew to find you the right active ingredients and strength for your prescription. And if you don't like swallowing the pills, guys, like I said, it's chewable. Easy. Easy as booking Monday Night Raw if you are yours truly in JD. Blue Chew's tablets are also made in the USA, and they prepare and ship direct, so it's cheaper than a pharmacy. So if you guys want to add some extra confidence to the bedroom, man, if you guys don't want to feel depressed completely after a terrible episode of Monday Night Raw like we've seen tonight, go visit Blue Chew, man. Don't take it out on your wife. Don't take it out on your partner. BlueChew.com. Code JD for checkout. Get your free sample. All you guys got to do is pay the $5 shipping and handling. Code JD to receive your first month free. And I want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast right here on Off the Script. There you go, man. BlueChew.com. Nia Jaxson, Shayna Baszler versus Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. This match went 6 minutes. Nia Jaxson and Shayna Baszler look like a bunch of fucking geeks in this match. So we were a few minutes in here, and Baszler had the Kirifuda clutch applied. And I love Shayna Baszler, man. I went on a nice little rant about Shayna Baszler just breaking away from this terrible tag team with Nia Jax. That is somebody that you need as a single on Monday Night Raw. That's what we need. Shayna Baszler as a single. So she got the Kirifuda clutch applied late in the match. Jax tossed Rose into the ring, and Jax tripped and slipped while trying to get back into the ring. This is the outcome of this match, and they're using Mandy slipping at WrestleMania now as a storyline. I don't really get it. So Rose jumped out of the ring with the Kirifuda clutch applied. Jax stepped back onto the ring apron, slipped and fell. Rose was laughing at her. Nia Jax got mad, crawled into the ring after Rose. Rose bailed out, and Brooke said it's not worth it, and they backed up to the stage and got counted out on purpose. So Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler win on purpose because Nia Jax slipped. Mandy Rose got a ha ha ha, look, it happened to you now, because they were making fun of her slipping at WrestleMania. And they opted to lose the match because they'd rather laugh at Nia Jax from afar. Folks, all I will say is this. If Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler won this match by DQ because Mandy Rose and catering wanted to bail and laugh instead of winning the match, why would I find them winning a match, period, important? Do you know what I'm saying? If Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke don't find it important that they beat Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, who are the women's tag team champions, why am I gonna find anything that they do important? Do you realize how ridiculous the booking is on this show? If they don't find winning important, who's going to find winning important? Not me. I don't give a fuck about them. And I give zero fucks, negative fucks, after they decided, you know what, a win is not important on this night. Fucking garbage. MVP was in the ring. Hurt Business have official announcements. Said Lashley would come out shortly to celebrate. Said first he had something to say. He said on Saturday, Lashley retained the WWE Championship, and all that he wanted to do today was address them and celebrate his victory. He said McIntyre is an absolute warrior and one of the most dominant WWE champions the world has ever seen. I wouldn't go that far, but that's what he said. He told Drew it's okay to be number 2 when Lashley is number 1. He said McIntyre's hanging his head right now in defeat. He said if McIntyre can't handle the pressure of the Hurt Lock, then who can? He was interrupted by McIntyre. Thank God it was McIntyre and not somebody else. I know you guys were maybe expecting Brock Lesnar or Keith Lee or somebody. God forbid it was fucking Goldberg. Who can handle the Hurt Lock? Who's next? Right? Don't tell me that's where they may be going with this, because he does have one more match left. McIntyre stepped onto the stage and asked MVP how he'd know how it feels right now. He said he knew WrestleMania would come down to the Hurt Lock versus the Claymore and who would make the first mistake. He said he made the first mistake when he allowed MVP to distract him. Then he touted the Hurt Lock's effectiveness. He said there's not a man on earth who can humble him. He said he wants MVP to keep on the path of growing the ego of Lashley. Then he entered the ring and told him to milk the cash cow and make the money and kiss all the ass that he needs. He says he wants him on the biggest pedestal it can be on, because when he gets his rematch, he will connect with the Claymore. And he said he wants him to fall as far as possible and then look up at the new WWE champion. MVP said he respects him. He said even he should understand nothing around there is given. It is just earned. Really? Really? I want you guys to remember that. MVP said nothing around here is given. Okay? MVP told Drew to get to the back of the line and fight his way back to the front. He asks Braun what he wants. Braun Strowman comes out. Whee! The Strowman Express! Wah! Comes out. Braun walks down the aisle, said MVP is right that Drew's getting the back of the line. Braun said he humiliated Shane McMahon at WrestleMania. And Shane McMahon humiliated Braun Strowman by showing everybody that he's a D student. So Braun should know a thing or two about being humiliated. Stupid. Braun Strowman. So he says now it's his turn. He got in the face of Drew McIntyre. Randy Orton then came out. So I knew where this was going. We got Drew out there. We got Braun out there. And we got Randy Orton out there. I smell a triple threat match. Great. He said that means he has all the time in the world to focus on what he's truly great at, and that is being the legend killer because he took care of Alexa Bliss and Bray Wyatt. And he wants to be WWE champion once again. Adam Pearce walked out and said, listen, I know where this is going. Said everyone was making excellent points, which makes his job easy. He booked Orton, Drew McIntyre, and Braun Strowman in a triple threat match. The winner's going on to face Lashley in the headline match at the next pay-per-view, WrestleMania Backlash. We got 2 nights of WrestleMania. Now you got to make WrestleMania Backlash. It's not going to make Backlash any more fucking important, Bruce. You fucking serious? You can coat shit with a different colored paint. It's still going to smell like fucking shit, okay? MVP said, nothing is given away here. Everything has to be earned. Oh, really? That's what you said? But merely 30 seconds later, we got fucking Adam Pearce coming out there giving Drew McIntyre an opportunity to wrestle Bobby Lashley. The guy lost clean at WrestleMania. What exactly did he have to do to get another opportunity at the WWE Championship? That's right, just be a loser. Just be a loser. Randy Orton was the only one who won his fucking match here against a full-time, well, I don't even want to say a full-time performer. Bray Wyatt's got a fucking part-time contract that would make full-timers fucking jealous. But he beat Bray Wyatt. Braun Strowman beat Shane McMahon. That doesn't really constitute as him getting a number 1 contender shot at the WWE title. This is the best that WWE has for WrestleMania Backlash, folks. Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, and Braun Strowman. God, this pay-per-view's main event is already looking like utter fucking garbage. You have to be fucking kidding me. This show should have been a shakeup of both Raw and SmackDown. How can this show exist moving forward with this roster? There's no way that it will be able to exist until the next time WWE wants to have a draft or a shakeup. Jaxson Ryker. Jaxson Ryker and Elias versus The New Day. Imagine that. Jaxson Ryker's on television on a weekly basis. Jaxson Ryker was at WrestleMania, folks. Where exactly is Buddy Murphy? Where's Buddy Murphy? Where is Wesley Blake? Oh, that's right. He's a missing person in the greater Orlando area. What about Buddy Murphy? You may find him in catering sitting next to Humberto on Tuesday nights. Elias. He's in the ring with Ryker. He strummed his guitar, and he said he wants to make sure Shane McMahon gets the respect he deserves for his valiant, heroic effort at WrestleMania. No, we deserve the valiant and heroic effort for getting through this fucking Monday Night Raw. Dedicated his match next to Shane, his mentor and his hero. And he has unmatched bravery at WrestleMania against Braun Strowman. So Elias strummed his guitar, and every time he strummed his guitar, the trombone of the New Day played with some weird fucking note. And every time he strummed his guitar, Xavier started to strum the trombone. So we got the New Day versus Jaxson Ryker and Elias. I guess we have another makeshift tag team in the tag team division, folks. Elias and Jaxson Ryker are now labeled as a tag team. This is where we've gone for the tag team division. New Day wins in 9 minutes. Elias and Riker beat up on Xavier Woods for a few minutes. Kingston eventually got the hot tag. Xavier tagged back in, landed the top rope double stomp for the win, and that was it. That was it. So they got destroyed at WrestleMania, come back and get a big victory over Elias and Jaxson Riker, and all is right in the world with the New Day. Give me a break. Nobody gives a fuck about the New Day, and nobody gives a shit about the tag team division. Firefly Funhouse. Bray Wyatt. He was back with his usual cast of fucking puppets. Rambling Rabbit was there. He was very excited. Mercy the Buzzard was there, hiding in his box. Abby the Witch was there, cursing on the windowsill. So he says it feels good to be back, says Bray, in the Funhouse, especially with all of his true friends. And he highlighted the word true because Alexa Bliss stabbed him in the back. Abby had bleeped out what she really thinks about Alexa Bliss, pretty much telling Alexa Bliss to go fuck herself. Bray told her if she doesn't have anything nice to say, then don't say it at all. She swore some more about Alexa Bliss. Rabbit said it was so groovy to be there without Bliss. Bray then grabbed Rabbit like he was going to choke him, but he then kissed him in the forehead and threw him away. And he says, I bet you didn't see that coming, meaning that he was nice to Rambling Rabbit because usually he decimates Rambling Rabbit. Bray says he feels great and it could be a brand new start for all of them. New season, new friends, and a brand new me. He says he feels reborn. And then he started to sound like a southern preacher from the South, some from Georgia. Started to sound like a southern preacher. I was expecting somebody to come out and serve me fucking sweet peach tea. Said the Funhouse will be big, bad, and stronger than ever. Bye! And that's the way the segment went off the air. Nothing was said, nothing was done, nothing was insinuated. You might as well have had no Firefly Funhouse because we got zero fucking answers to any of our questions. So what was the point of him being there? The more you linger on with this fucking nonsensical shit that doesn't really give us anything as to where we are going, the less people are going to care about it. There's no story here. No matter how much you want to try and how much you want to defend, there's no story. We've been through 6 months of this shit. I think now is time to give us fucking answers. You came out of WrestleMania with some bullshit that got booed out of Raymond James Stadium, and then you want to show up on this show and give us not even one iota of a fucking answer? There was nothing conceivable, nowhere close to being a fucking answer on this Firefly Funhouse. You think that's all right? Shit sucks. Get it off my fucking television. Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman, and Randy Orton. Number 1 contender match for the WWE Championship. Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania Backlash. Oh joy, oh joy. This match went about 12 minutes. Really nothing happened here of note. We're going to fast forward right to the end. Orton beat up Drew at ringside, threw him into the announce desk. So welcome to Monday Night Raw, Adnan Virk. Braun attacked Orton. He bashed both Orton and Drew at the top of the ringside steps. He let out a big roar. He did his wee! All aboard the Strowman Express! Wee! That's exactly what he did. Ran around ringside, took these guys out with a shoulder tackle. All of a sudden, Orton came back with a draping DDT to Braun in the ring a minute later. So much for the Strowman Express. He then left. He was getting ready to hit an RKO. He hit the RKO on Braun Strowman. He made the cover. Drew McIntyre, who was on the outside, quickly ran back into the ring, hit Orton with a Claymore kick as he was in the cover on Braun Strowman. Drew McIntyre pins Randy Orton to win this match. He's now the number 1 contender against Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania Backlash. First of all, WWE naming WrestleMania Backlash, or Backlash, naming it WrestleMania Backlash, to me, WrestleMania is over. Now you're building towards Dallas for WrestleMania 38. The more you do shit like this, just like with the Saudi Arabia, oh, it's greater or equivalent to WrestleMania. Every time you mention WrestleMania, the actual WrestleMania, in something that's not WrestleMania, it's watering down the WrestleMania name. Okay? I would never go out there and do something like that to water down my biggest brand, which is WrestleMania. Number 2, Randy Orton pinned Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. Why did he get placed in this match to eat a pinfall after he beat Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania? Does anybody think before they do? So Bray Wyatt getting a loss at WrestleMania truly means that he's dead. That should be the solid confirmation that you fucking virgins need, you Wyatt geeks, all the confirmation that you need that this guy is dead. First of all, they took his gimmick and gave it to a fucking woman. The brainchild of Bray Wyatt is now Alexa Bliss's. Then Randy Orton pins Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, at WrestleMania with a fucking wrestling move after he burned him alive, only to come back and then lose to Drew McIntyre at Monday Night Raw in the main event. Does nobody think that this is wrong? What did Drew McIntyre do to get into this match? Why is Drew McIntyre once again getting a match against Bobby Lashley? Why are we running this back again? You might as well just have booked the fucking rematch and called it WrestleMania Backlash. Without this match happening, you wasted everyone's time. So now what? Does Bobby Lashley lose the title to Drew McIntyre? Where are we going? If the title stays on Lashley, if the title goes back to Drew, you guys are going to be in the same spot that you're in now. Lashley doesn't have any baby faces. He doesn't. You bury them all. WWE doesn't even know how to spell the word babyface. If the title goes back to Drew, who exactly does he have on the heel side? Nobody. So why are we here? What is your plan? Seems like WWE is just doing and blindly writing. Does nobody question? Oh, this is going to be a great match. Oh, I can't wait to see it. I don't give a fuck if the match is greater than fucking Meltzer's 5-star rating scale. I don't care. Where are you going after this is over? Who is next? Until you answer that question, I don't give a fuck if either of these guys are champions. I don't give a shit if the match blows all expectations out of the water. Have a fucking plan. WWE clearly had nothing, which resulted in a god-awful fucking Raw after Mania. God-awful. Ridiculous. That title's going right back to Drew McIntyre, and I swear on my grandfather's grave, we're getting Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal this summer. Watch. Guys, I appreciate you hanging with me tonight. 2,500 in the chat right now. We were up towards 2,800 today. I appreciate you guys, man. Please hit that thumbs up. We are about 60 away from 1,000. Let's try for 1,000 tonight. I love you guys. Follow me on Twitter at JDfromNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. And please go check out and support Blue Chew. My great friends over at Blue Chew. BlueChew.com. Code JD at checkout. Get your free sample. Love those guys over there. Shout out to Glenn Rubenstein and all those guys. Excellent. Take care of me every month. Appreciate you guys. Let's hit these super chats, man. Super chats are open. Get them on in. We'll hang out. I worked myself into a frenzy. I said I didn't want to blow my voice out. My voice doesn't feel that bad. I'll have a cup of hot tea after the show is over. Relax. Lay in bed. We got NXT tomorrow. Hopefully you guys show up for NXT tomorrow night, man. Listen, NXT's on its own night. Let's have some fun. The venue's going to be open on a Tuesday night, man. Normally we're closed. Bezo Banks with a $4.99 super chat. Yes, Charlotte, you're absolutely right. Sasha doesn't compare to you. She's much better, my love. This entire show sucked ass. Keep up the great work, JD. Appreciate you, Bezo Banks. And I agree, Sasha is so much more superior than Charlotte Flair. DX Tricksters with a $5 UK super chat. This has been the worst Raw after Mania in the last 15 years. It didn't even feel like one, but more like Raw after a B-level pay-per-view. My God, did it suck. Shit was awful, bro. Cool Jags with a $4.99 super chat. This show absolutely sucks. No Io Shirai, no Adam Cole. Only the Viking Raiders come back. That's all, Vince, Bruce, Beaver. Horrible show tonight. I don't know why you guys want Io Shirai and Adam Cole on the main roster. I mean, do you guys really want death warrants for these people? And speaking of the Beaver, Kevin Castle. Kevin, what's up, bro? Acknowledge you. I see, bro, listen, I see you, bro. I see you, man. Acknowledge me. Listen, we got, you mentioned the Beaver here. Somebody told me, listen, I love Solid Monster. Somebody told me that Solid Monster now has a Kevin Dunn impression. This I have to see. Wood. Man, I've been doing Kevin Dunn impressions over here for years. The Beaver. Come on, man. Kev, listen. Rhea Ripley's a fucking poser, bro. She's the type that thinks fucking Slipknot is death metal. Oh, look at me. I listen to Iowa. Listen, honey, you want death metal? I'll name you fucking death metal, honey. You want some Malevolent Creation? You want some Cannibal Corpse? You want some Cryptopsy, right? Death? Come on. Old school soil work? Gosh, she looks like such a poser, man. It's fucking laughable. Oh, I listen to thrash. I listen to Bullet for My Valentine. Really? Listen, honey, his Sepultura Beneath the Remains. Arise. I'll even give you Chaos AD for a fucking bonus. Go listen to that. Not even thrash. Go listen to it. God, she sucks. She's fucking awful, dude. Anyway, Cool Jags, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Lauren Hutton, $2. Thank you, Lauren. Love you, JD. Charlotte is back to Berry. Charlotte Berry's more than The Walking Dead, man. Thank you, Lauren. Also, she says, WWE makes Drew win for another title opportunity. Saw Charlotte return and the triple threat. No call-ups. None. She's a Hot Topic death metal fan. Jesus Christ. Listen, man, the only reason why I go into Hot Topic is to look at their Funko Pop collection, and I usually get disappointed anyway because they got nothing in there. Thank you, Lauren, for the $6 in Super Chat. Cool Jags, $2.99. This is what Vince does on my birthday. Shaking my head, thumbs down. Listen, bro, you should not be watching Monday Night Raw on your birthday. Lauren Hutton with another $2 Super Chat and became a new member. Yep, one of the worst Raws. Thanks, WWE. Thank you, Lauren. Jericho, 8131 with a $5 super chat. I love Drew McIntyre, but he's in grave danger of reaching Cena Reigns levels of go-away heat after tonight. I'm over him in the world title pit. Whoa. First of all, John Cena was much better in his second go-around later in his career. I didn't mind John Cena at all. I thought he was fucking great. Number two, Reigns has go-away heat with who? Reigns is the best heel in pro wrestling. And no, don't tell me MJF or don't tell me Omega. Reigns is the best heel in pro wrestling. Okay? Kenny's trying, but let me tell you something, geeks. He's not going to get there. But McIntyre is definitely reaching that level because WWE, they got this way about them where they stick with one babyface too long and then it leads to everybody turning on them because WWE just doesn't deviate away and do anything different with them. This is why everybody's in favor of Lashley retaining the title again. Because nobody wants Drew McIntyre as world champion. Nobody. And like I said, if he wins the title or if Lashley retains the title, who is there as far as heel and babyface? Nobody. Lauren Hunn with another $2 super chat. I actually wanted Randy versus Bobby. I don't want none of the matches that were presented tonight. None. Phil with a $9.99 super chat. The Raw after Mania is WWE's version of New Year's Day. This one show alone can tell you that they are going to treat the rest of the calendar year as shit. This year will suck creative-wise. Bro, I told you. They know we look forward to it and we look for something new. WWE takes great pleasure in doing the opposite and burying the show and making us feel disappointed. I am the captain with the $5 super chat. Been listening to you since around episode 80. And I can say there's no one that does it better. Truly the ESD of the IWC. Thank you. I am the captain. I appreciate those kind words, man. Thank you for being here for so long, man. We are up to 372 episodes of Off the Script. And you've been here since number 80, bro. That's a long fucking time. Lauren Hunn with a $1.49 super chat. She leaves a popcorn emoji. Lightly salted, no butter for me, Lauren. Thank you. Maurice Lionheart Jackson, a.k.a. the Prince of Love, with a $1.99 super chat. This show sucks big time, he says. Corey Jackson with a $4.99 super chat. No message. Don't be shy, bro. Remember to tip the bartender. Gavin Deeth with an Australian $5 super chat. Brock, Big E, Limited, Keith Lee, Sheamus, Braun, Walter. Nah. Let's give Drew another go. Bruce. Probably. At this point, I don't even think Brock wants to come back. Big E is not ready for a world title. Keith Lee, sit at home, collect your paycheck, and let your contract run out. Fuck WWE. Sheamus is not world championship material anymore. Braun Strowman is a one-trick pony who expired 3 years ago. Walter, I don't want to see Walter on the main roster anywhere because WWE would have him suffer a loss in his first fucking month. Give Walter and Cross a go at it in NXT. That's the match I want to see. And fuck it. Give Walter the NXT and the NXT UK titles. Call Cross up and build around him as a dominant fucking heel monster, similar to what you're doing with Reigns on Monday Night Raw, and let him go. There's no fucking way they wouldn't be over. Him and Scarlett leading, I don't even want them on Raw because everything Raw touches sucks, but you know what I mean. Jack Brewer with a $10 super chat. Tried watching Raw, turned off after I saw Charlotte. Got my Are We Live t-shirt on my baseball mug today. OTS for life. You are the best. You tell it like it is. I respect you for that. Jack Brewer, I appreciate you, brother. Enjoy that. Enjoy that, man. Queston Fisher with a $9.99 super chat. There's one opponent that Lashley and Reigns have in common for a major feud down the line, Brock Lesnar. When and where do you think we get these two feuds? I do not think we get it with Lashley. I do think that WWE will be doing Reigns and Lesnar eventually. It just makes too much sense. They got to do it. Reese with a $9.99 super chat. Should have been Riddle, Ali, and Lee in tonight's main event. More than the three that we got. I don't know, man. Riddle, buried. Ali, WWE sees no value in him. And Keith Lee, he's home. With Mia Yim. Reese with another $3.99. I meant instead. LOL. No worries, bro. I know what you meant. Freebird with a $4.99 super chat. If WWE offered you the commentary job, would you take it? Not on the main roster. With NXT, yes. Love your work, JD. You always know how to bring a smile to my day. Much love from Michigan. Stay safe, brother. Thank you for $4.99. CMBZ with a $4.99 and a $4.99 super chat. How bad does a Monday Night Raw have to be for the Beaver to do the review? I don't allow beavers inside the venue, man. No animals allowed. The Beaver's in New Jersey. He's at my other place. 816 Life with a $5 super chat. From WrestleMania, SmackDown to WrestleMania, Raw Rematch Edition to WrestleMania Backlash. Ha ha ha. Get ready, JD. It's a long road. It's too long for me, man. Thank you for the $5. John Trailer with the $5 super chat. I've been listening to you faithfully since 2015. I don't know you from a can of paint, but I'm genuinely proud of you and I applaud your success. Mr. Trailer, I appreciate those kind words, brother. Hope I can meet some of you very, very soon. I may be heading to Jacksonville for Double or Nothing. Not the actual show, but I may be down there in the vicinity of Jacksonville. Meet and greets, craft beer, hanging out. I'll let you guys know. Dayron Sanders with a $5 super chat. JD, I will catch the playback. Sending my love, bro. I see that you got a new pay-per-view coming. WrestleMania Backtrash. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. WrestleMania Backlash. WWE always got to find a way to ruin something. Justin Strippin with a $9.99 super chat. Sasha Banks is way better than Charlotte Flair because Sasha put over 3 women that Charlotte didn't want to put over. Sasha put over Rhea in 2019 before she got buried, Io Shirai, and Bianca Belair. Sasha knows what's up, man. Sasha is the leader of the women's revolution. She will always be the leader. Joseph King, $5 super chat. What is your honest opinion on Evanescence as a band and Amy Lee as a front woman? Evanescence sucks and Amy Lee is overrated. Juan Vasquez, $5 super chat. You just need 2 major stars, Becky and Roman. I can't wait for Raw to have some charisma like SmackDown has now. The man and the head of the table, WWE. Jacob Donnelly with a $5 super chat. Any scoops on what Aleister Black had in catering today? Aleister Black didn't have catering today, Jacob. He sat in the corner depressed that he's not being used. I got word that he texted Thea while everybody around him was eating what Titus had today, which was linguine carbonara. Thank you for the $5, brother, and thank you for supporting on Twitch earlier today. First of all, I see some of you guys in the chat mentioning AEW Dark Elevation, or Elevation, whatever the fuck it's called. AEW Dark Elevation. Shout out to my boys Midas Black and Jay Lyon of Main Event. I have not watched it yet. They went up against FTR tonight. Those are my hog boys. So if you guys got time, go and search out main event versus FTR on AEW Dark Elevation. And I'm very proud of them, proud of their success. I'm proud of their growth. I can't wait to see where they go. They're both talented guys. They're going to go far. And I'm going to be with them every step of the way, man. Ty Sloan with a $1.99 super chat. Thoughts on NXT's new Japanese wrestler, Sarai? Another fucking Joshi. I don't give a shit. Also, Ty says, do you like Good Charlotte and Avenged Sevenfold? Bro. Avenged Sevenfold, Bat Country is their best song, and I haven't listened to any other album but the album that they did with fucking Portnoy on drums. That was it. Do you like Avenged Sevenfold? No, I'm sorry. I would rather my bands not rip off the Black Album from Metallica. Didn't they have one album where they just confiscated guitar riffs from Metallica? Yeah, that's real great. Cal L with a $5 super chat. Hey, JD, I just tuned in. I take it that Raw sucked as usual. You have no fucking idea, man. Do you like Killswitch Engage? Yes, I do. I think Jesse Leach is a fantastic fucking musician. And Adam, their guitar player, is one hell of a guitar player as well. Acknowledge Mustang, you goons. Good night, bro. Theo with a $9.99 super chat. JD, what's your favorite match from 1996 and 1997? Pay-per-view from WCW or WWE? Also, what are your decisions concerning where Sasha Banks goes from here? Love your show, bro. Much love. Keep on doing what you do on your podcast. $1996, bro. I mean, 1997 was such a great year. What was that? Brett versus Austin at WrestleMania? Then you got Brett versus Undertaker, I believe. SummerSlam. You had Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Ground Zero. Hell in a Cell. Right? Do I got the years right? WCW, I never watched WCW, so I can't give you answers on WCW because I was always a WWF guy. CJ Voorhees, 93 with a $1 super chat. Thank you, brother. No message. Remember to tip your bartender, bro. Brian Mahoney with a $5 super chat. Charlotte is every flaw in growing up in WWE system. Do you ever wonder if she grew up in the independent circuit, how vastly different she may be? Yeah. Yeah. She's overrated. Clinton Jackson with a $5 super chat, no message. And then he does another $5 super chat with a message. JD, been watching you for a while, man. Your intro with the car and the music is off the chain. Hypes me up every time I watch it. Great work. That's what it's supposed to do for the live stream audience, man. You get it. You grasp it. Jericho 8131 with a $15 super chat. Lastly, Detroit T-Bar and Mace 6 months ago. Why does he need them in the Hurt Business? The constant abhorrent writing on this show makes me sick. P.S. I meant 0809 Cena and 1517 Reigns in my previous comment. That would make a lot more sense, bro. That will make a lot more sense. Yes. Those were go-away heat characters. I agree. Why would Lashley need T-Bar and Mace? Listen, bro, if I mentioned this before in the beginning, if MVP can take T-Bar and Mace and turn them back into Dio Madden and Dominic Dijakovic, put them in suits, give them some fucking badass attitude, I'm for it. We need something to change. Wasn't Slapjack, if you guys remember last year, wasn't MVP scouting Brandon Vink and Shane Thorne? We could be looking at a new Hurt Business. I'd be shocked if WWE goes back and does that. I don't know how many of you guys remember that, but I do. I'm not an idiot. I know what I'm watching. Clinton, thank you. Jericho, thank you. Furious Nation with a $10 super chat. Charlotte had the balls to say that nobody compares to her, but in fact, Sasha is way better than her because Sasha isn't selfish. Case in point, WrestleMania against Bianca. You know it, man. Sasha is one of the greatest of all time, already a Hall of Famer. Charlotte, not so much. Chris with a $4.99 super chat. Raw sucked tonight. Charlotte is overrated. Amazing content all week. Continue to be you. Never change. Acknowledge JD as the tribal chief of the IWC. Thank you, Chris, for the $4.99, man. I am physically exalted. Exalted. I can't even speak. Exhausted. Physically exhausted. As if I'm the fucking exalted one. I am. Lauren Hunt with a $2 super chat. Whoever hates Roman as a heel needs their heads examined. I agree. Peyton Joshua 18 with a $2 super chat. Yay, Drew again. You and BC are who I watch. Shout out to BC Amplified. He's my boy. JD 23 $5 super chat. Heel Charlotte is better than the nauseating babyface version. But either way, like you say, she doesn't really make anybody better or make a difference. She doesn't make a difference at all, man. Roman Reigns is somebody who makes a fucking difference. And Isaiah Plays with a $4.99 super chat. You think Vince likes Riddle like he... You think Vince likes Riddle like as in he'll keep pushing him? If you even call that a push. No, Vince and Bruce are burying Matt Riddle. They got him to sign an extra 3 years, and they're going to bury him for it. And Ty Sloan, $1.99. If you had to pick Sublime or Nirvana, which one would you pick? Keep it up, JD. I would choose the line of Coke that's on the table in front of you right now. Peyton Joshua, 18 with a $4.99 super chat. That was sarcasm, and I'm ticked about Drew and Bobby again. Keep up the great work. I kind of got a sense that was sarcasm, Peyton. Jesus Christ, I'm fucking exhausted, man. We've been here for 2 hours. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, man. What a week. And we're not done yet. We got NXT tomorrow night. It's going to be a big NXT. It's going to be a big NXT, man. An explosive NXT episode. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, follow-up. Karrion Kross, what's next? What's next for Finn Balor? It's going to be a big show, man. I'll be live. We'll be talking about it. So make sure you guys join me. Set your notifications. Podcast will be up on YouTube tomorrow night. Follow me on Twitter at JDfromNY206. That's Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button if you have not done so. Down below, man. If we had the 2,000 in here, hit that subscribe button, we would be much further along than where we are. There's no reason for you not wanting to hit the subscribe button, man. Everybody wants to be back inside the venue, believe me. Patreon.com/JDfromNY206. Support through the Patreon page. Go check out the WrestleMania live streams Saturday and Sunday. Lots of content to go through there. And make sure you guys check out my boys over at Blue Chew, BlueChew.com. And you guys are going to use code JD at checkout for your free sample of Blue Chew. Great way to support the show as well. Guys, I'm getting out of here. It's going to be a beautiful day in New York City tomorrow. It's going to be in the 60s. The Mustang is looking better than ever. Windows are down. I'm about to hit the highway. I got my cold beverage. You, give me those guitar emojis in the chat. That volume, turn it up to max. You guys know what's coming up. I'll see you guys tomorrow night for NXT. I'll see you guys later.
Bye.